friends, I'm Dishma and you're watching my channel G Tutorial. Today's class is on the portion ratio and proportion, and these videos are meant for the upcoming SSC CGL mains exam, RRB NTPC exam, CHSL exam and also the DRDO MTS exam. If you like my video, please like, comment and share. So we can get to our class. The topic is ratio and proportion. First, let us see what is meant by the term ratio. Ratio is actually a tool to compare two or more number of same quantities. Suppose we are comparing the number of boys and girls in the class. If there is 50 boys in a class and 30 girls in the class, then we can say that the ratio of girls and boys is 50:30, and we can cancel out same multiples from both the terms. There are 50 boys and 30 girls in a class. So the ratio, we can find the ratio between the boys and girls in a class. 50 and 30 can be cancelled using 10. So 5:3. This is the simplest form of these two numbers. This is the ratio between boys and girls in a class. So if A and B are any two quantities, then the ratio of A and B is actually the fraction A by B. And it is the simplest form of this fraction A by B, and we can express this as A:B, where A is called antecedent and B is the consequent. Always remember that A and B should be same quantities. So we have seen the case of boys and girls in the class. Similarly, we can compare the price of any two commodities, but we cannot compare the number of commodities and the price. These are two different quantities. Always ratio can be formed only between same quantities. That is the first thing you have to understand from the topic ratio. Now we can see some of the properties of ratio. First property is duplicate ratio. If A is to B is any ratio, then A square is to B square is the duplicate ratio of A is to B. Then what is meant by the triplicate ratio? If A is to B is any ratio, then its triplicate ratio is a cube that exists between these two ratios. That is A cube is to B cube. Similarly, subduplicate ratio. Subduplicate ratio is the square root of A is to square root of B. Inverse ratio is, if A is to B is any ratio, then inverse ratio is 1 by A is to 1 by B. The LCM is 1 by AB. So here to form AB, have to multiply with B, and this AB and AB get cancelled. So B is to A is the ratio. So this is the inverse ratio of A is to B. Next is compounded ratio. If A is to B and C is to D are any two ratio, then the compounded ratio is A by B and C by D are any two ratios. Then the compounded ratio is A into C by B into D. That is AC is to BD. These are the 5 important properties related to ratio. So I think you are clear with the concept of ratio. Ratio should always be formed between same quantities. Then you have to understand each of these terms. Duplicate ratio means if A is to B is any ratio, then square of that is the duplicate ratio. Cube is a triplicate ratio. Square root ratio of square root of those is a subduplicate ratio, and inverse ratio is B is to A, and the compounded ratio of A is to B and C is to D is AC by BD, or AC is to BD. Next, let us see what is meant by proportion. Equality of two ratios is called proportion. What is meant by proportion? It is the equality of any two ratios. Suppose A is to B and C is to D are any two ratios, then if they are equal, if we are equating them, then they are said to be in proportion. That is A, B, C, D be any four quantities, then the proportion between A, B, C and D is A is to B is in proportion to C is to D, or we can write A by B is equal to C by D. A is to B means it is a ratio A by B, or it is a fraction A by B is equal to C by D. This is what is meant by proportion. We are denoting proportion by the symbol this. And here we can say that the extreme terms, these are called extreme values of the proportion, and the middle values, these are called mean values of the proportion. Always the product of mean values will be equal to the product of extreme values. So what is the product of extreme values? Product of extreme values is A into D, which is equal to product of means B into C. So AD will be equal to BC. And in this proportion, this first term is called first proportional. Second term is called second proportional. Third term is called third proportional, and last term D is called fourth proportional. So we will be given any of the three and we will be asked to find the next one. So using this equation you can find any of the missing term. So the product of means is equal to product of extremes. AD is equal to BC. This is an important formula which you have to remember from this portion. Next we can see some of the properties of proportion. First property is if X is a third proportion to A and B. So if A, B and X is in proportion, we have to express it as A is to B is in proportion to C is to D. Here we are only having three terms, A, B and X. So if they are in proportion, we can express it as A is to B is in proportion to B is to X. And here this we can use this formula and write product of mean terms is B square is equal to AX. This is the expression for product of mean and product of extreme. And next we can see the mean proportional of A and B. The mean proportional of A and B is root of A. This is the mean proportion of A and B. That is, here A is in proportion with X. Sorry, A forms a ratio with some quantity X, and we are asked to find this X. And X is in ratio with B. So X square is equal to AB, or X is equal to root of AB. So simply we can say mean proportion between A and B is root AB. These are the two other things you have to remember from the topic proportion. That is, first is this one. Product of mean is equal to product of extreme. If there are four terms, AD is equal to BC. And if only three quantities are there, then B forms a ratio between A and B and B and X. And so the equation is B square is equal to AX. And in third case, the mean proportion between A and B is root of AB. So these three things should be memorized. Next important property concerning proportion is, first is component. If A by B is equal to C by D, or A is to B is in proportion with the C is to D, then the component of rule is A plus B by B is equal to C plus D by D. This is the component of rule. Next rule is dividend of rule. Suppose A is to B is in proportion with the C is to D. Then the dividend of rule is A minus B by B is equal to C minus D by D. To this we are applying component of rule and dividend of rule. Then the combination of these two, that is component of dividend of rule. This is the most important rule. This is the combination of these two. So A by B forms a proportion with C by D, then A plus B by A minus B is equal to C plus D by C minus D. This is the component dependent problem. If A by B is in proportion with C by D, then A plus B by A minus B is equal to C plus B by C minus D. Now we can move on to some problems from the topic ratio and proportions. This is a type 1 problem. Here we will be given if x is to y is 3 is to 4. The ratio x is to y is 3 is to 4 and we are asked to find what is 4x plus 5y is to 5x minus 2y. Just what you have to do is substitute what is x 3 and for y substitute 4. In this equation we will get the answer. We are asked to find 4x plus 5y is forms a ratio to 5x by, so 5x minus 2y. Substitute for x 3 and y 4. So 4 into 3 plus 5 into 4 by 5 into 3 minus 2 into 4. When you are doing the problem, just do this calculation in mind. Steps consumes time, so avoid writing steps. For the step 1 plus 20, 32 by 5 plus 15 minus 8. So 32 by 7 is the required ratio. Next, if A is to B is 2 is to 3, then what is this? So 5A plus 3B by 6A minus 2B. Substitute for A and B. A is 2 and B is 3. So 5 2s are 5 into 2 plus 3 into 3 by 6 into 2 plus 2 minus 2 into 19 by 6 to 12 minus 6, 6. 19 by 6 is the required ratio. So this is the type 1 problem. Now we can move on to the type 2 problem. Second type of problem is like this. If 4x square minus 3y square is to 2x square plus 5y square is 12 is to 90. The ratio between these two quantities is 12 is to 90. And we are asked to find what is the ratio between x and y. X is to y is what we are asked to find. So just you have to do this. This is what is given. This is equal to 12 by 90. Just cross multiply and solve. You will get the value of x by y, or the ratio x is to y. So 19 into 4 x square minus 19 into 3y square. I am not solving, I am just keeping it as such. 12 into 2 x square plus 12 into 5 y square. Taking x terms to one side and y terms to the other side. So these are two x terms. Here what is common? X square is common, then 4 is common. 4 3s are 12 and 1 4 is here. So I am taking 4s square as common. So the remaining term is 90. When 12 into 2 x square is taken to this side, the term becomes minus. So minus. Here I have taken a 4 common. So what is remaining is 3 into 2, 6. Which is equal to, I am taking y terms to the other side. So when minus term is taken to the other side, it turns to be plus. Then I can take 3y square as common. So here when 3 is gone, 4 is remaining. So 4 5 are 20 is remaining. So I am taking 3y square common. So the remaining is 19 plus 4 5 are 20. So what is there? 4x. So 19 minus 6 is 30. So 4 into 30 x square is equal to 20 plus 19, 39. 39 into 3 y square. 13 into 3 is 39. So x square by y square is 3 3s are 9 by 4. For x by y is square root of 9 by 4. Which is square root of 9 is 3 and square root of 4 is 2. So the required answer is 3 is to 2 is the required ratio. So just cross multiplying and solving, and then you will be getting x square by y square, and taking the square root of that you will get the answer. You can multiply and solve. It takes more time, so I am doing in the easiest way. Next question. If 5a minus 3b is to 4a minus 2b is 2 is to 3, then what is a is to b? We are asked to find the ratio a is to b. So we can write 5a minus 3b by 4a minus 2b is equal to 2 by 3, and then cross multiplying. 5 into 3a minus 3 into 3b is equal to 4 into 2a minus 2 into 2b. Taking a terms to one side and b terms to the other side. Here you can't take any common terms, only a is common. So 5 3s are 15 minus 4 2s are 8. 15 minus 8a is equal to 3 into 3, 9. It is taken to the other side, so plus 9 minus 2 2s are 4, 4b. And what you have to find? A by b. So a divided by b is equal to 9 minus 4 is 5, and we are taking 15 by 8 to the other side. 15 minus 8 is 7. So 5 by 7 is the required ratio. So this is the second type of problem. You have to just do the cross multiplication and solving, we will get the answer. Now we can move on to the third type of problem. This is the third type of problem. If a is to b is 2 is to 3 and b is to c is 4 is to 5, you have to find the combined ratio a is to b is to c. So here a is to b is given, which is 2 is to 3, and b is to c is given, which is a is to b is 2 is to 3 and b is to c is 4 is to 5. You are asked to find what is the combined ratio of a, b and c. What you have to do? You have to take the LCM over here. So the LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. So a is to b is to c is 12. Then you have to multiply 3 by 4. So multiply 2 also by that 4. So 2 4s are 8. And here 4 is multiplied by 3. So 5 should also be multiplied by 3. So 5 3s are 15. Now to remember this, what you have to do is, first you have to multiply 3 and 4. Then multiply these two. 3 and 4 is written for b. 2 and 4, 2 4s are 8. Then 3 and 5, 15. This is the shortcut for remembering. 8 is to 12 is to 15. And if you can cancel out any of the multiples, then convert this to the simplest form. Here there is no common term between 8, 12 and 15. So this is the simplest form. So this is the ratio a is to b is to c. Ratio should always be the simplest form of any numbers. So 8 is to 12 is to 15 is the combined ratio. Now we can see the next question. This is a is to b is this, and c is to b is 4 is to 3. Find the combined ratio a is to b is to c. If you are getting a question like this in the exam, you will surely make mistake. Here c is to b is given and it is not b is to c. First you can write the ratio as b is to c. What is b is to c? b is to c is 3 is to 4. And then start solving. So a is to b is 5 is to 8 and b is to c is 3 is to 4. So what you have to do? Combined ratio a is to b is to c is 8 into 3. 8 3s are 24. Then 5 into 3, 15. 8 into 4, 32. So we can cancel. Can't cancel using 2, 3. 32 is not divisible by 3. So this is the simplest form. So 15 is to 24 is to 32 is the ratio between A, B and C. Now we can see the next question. Next question, if A is to B is 2 is to 3 and C is to B is 5 is to 6, find A is to B is to C. What is the first thing you have to do? You have to turn this ratio as B is to C, which is 6 is to 5. Always the ratio should be A is to B and B is to C. Now we can find what is A is to B is to C. 2 is to 3, 6 is to 5. So A is to B is to C is 3 6 are 18, 2 6 are 12, and 3 5 are 15. This is not the simplest form. You can cancel out using 3. So 3 4s are 12, 3 6 are 18, and 3 5s are. So this is the actual ratio between A, B and C. Always expressed in simplest term. Now next question. If A is to B is 2 is to 3, B is to C is 4 is to 5, and C is to D is 6 is to 7. Find the combined ratio A is to B is to C is to D. A is to B. A is to B is 2 is to 3, B is to C is 4 is to 5, and C is to D is 6 is to 7. So the combined ratio is 2 into 4 into 6 is 8. 2 4s are 8, 8 6 are 48. Next, B is 3 into 4 into 6. 3 4s are 12, 12 6 are 72. C is 6 into 5 into 3. 6 5s are 30, 33s are 90. Then 3 into 5 into 7. 5 3s are 15, 15 7s are 105. This is not the simplest form. You can cancel out these terms using 3. So, cancelling with 3, 16 is to 24 is to 30 is to 35. This is the ratio. A is to B is to C is to D. What you should do? You have to. A is 2 into 4 into 6. Then B is 3 into 4 into 6. A is to B is 2 is to 3, B is to C is 4 is to 5, and C is to D is 6 is to 7. What is A? A is 2 into 4 into 7. Similarly, D is 3 into 5 into 7. Then B is 3 into 4 into 6. Similarly, C is 6 into 5 into 3. Then cancel any common multiples, and the simplest form gives the required ratio. So we have completed 3 types. Now we can move on to the 4th type. This is the next question. If 6A is to 4B is equal to 9C, then what is the ratio between A and B and C? A is to B is to C. So here we are given 6A is equal to 4B is equal to 9C. Let us equate it to some constant K. So A is K by 6, B is K by 4, and C is K by 9. 6A is equal to K, so A is K by 6, B is K by 4, and C is K by 9. Then we can find the ratio A is to B is to C. A is to B is to C is K by 6 is to K by 4 is to K by 9. We can cancel out K. So 1 by 6 is to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 9. Now we can take the LCM. 4, 6 and 9. LCM is 36. 6 into 6 is 36. 6 into what is 36? 4 into 9 is 36. And 9 into 4 is 30. So 1 into 4 is 4. 4 by 36. You can cancel 36. So the required ratio is 6 is to 9 is to 4. Just what you have to do is you can avoid all these steps. What you have to do is just what is A is to B is to C. If 6A is to 4B is equal to 9C, then A is to B is to C is just 1 by what is given here. 6 is to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 9. Then take the LCM of the denominator. 6, 4 and 9. LCM is 36. What into 6 gives 36? 6. So multiply numerator also by 6. So 6 is to 4 into what is 36? 4 into 9. So 1 into 9. 9. 9 into what is 36? 9 into 4. So 1 into 4. This is the required answer. Now we can do the next question. If 2a is equal to 3b is equal to 8c, find a is to b is to c. A is to b is to c is just 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 8. LCM of 8, 3 and 2. 24 will be the LCM. You can check. 24 is LCM. So 2 into 12 is 24. So 1 into 12. 12 is to 3 into what is 24? 3 into 8. So 8 plus 2. 8 into 3 is 24. So 3. This is the required ratio. Can't further simplify. So this is the required ratio. This is the 4 type problem.